His long brother Thompson Neal.
Great change, Muslim since I've been born. There's a great change since I've been born. The songs I used to sing, I don't sing no more. I said those songs I used to sing, well, I don't sing no more. I said those songs I used to sing, I don't sing no more. There's a great change since I've been born. Great change since I've been born. There's a great change since I've been born. Great change, Muslim since I've been born. There's a great change since I've been born.
All rise for the Morris Miracle prayer who are able. Allah, Father Universe.
Allah, Father Universe.
Father Love.
Father Love.
Truth. Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
And
justice.
justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
And
my salvation.
my salvation.
By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Through Ali. Amen. Please remain standing for the Morris honors. First I rise giving praise to Allah.
The
great God of the universe.
great God of the universe.
I give honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days.
The last prophet in these days.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets of Allah.
And give honor to all true and divine prophets of Allah.
Jesus,
Muhammad,
Buddha,
Confucius,
etc. I give honor to Marcus Garvey,
and give honor to Marcus Garvey,
forerunner of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
forerunner of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
I give honor to the American flag,
And give honor to the American flag,
the flag of our birth,
the flag of our birth,
and to the Morris flag,
and to the Moorish flag,
our decent flag,
our decent flag,
the red flag
the red flag,
with the five-pointed green star
the 5-point green star,
in the center,
in the center,
representing
representing
love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I give honor to our divine charter,
And give honor to our divine charter,
which gives us the divine and legal right
which gives us the divine and legal right
to practice and promote our religion
to practice and promote our religion
unmolested.
unmolested.
I give honor to all past leaders
And give honor to all past leaders
of the Morris Science Temple of America
of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
and their Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
I give honor to our past former Grand Chief
And give honor to our past former Grand Chief
and moderator,
and moderator,
Brother R. Loveville.
Brother R. Loville.
I give honor to our present Grand Chief
And give honor to our present Grand Chief
and moderator,
and moderator,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones
I
Bay.
give honor to the Assistant Grand Chief,
And give honor to the Assistant Grand Chief,
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
I give honor to the Grand National Chairman,
And give honor to the Grand National Chairman,
who is also the Grand Chief
who is also the Grand Chief
here at Temple 71,
here at Temple 71,
Washington, D.C.,
Washington, D.C.,
Brother P. Chase-Hill.
Brother P. Chase Hill.
I give honor to the Grand National Secretary,
And give honor to the Grand National Secretary,
Sister W. Wright Bay,
Sister W. Wright Bay,
and to her assistant.
and to her assistant.
I give honor to all national,
And give honor to all national,
state,
state,
and local officials
and local officials
in their office and station.
in their office and station.
I give honor to Brother H. Harris Bay,
And give honor to Brother H. Harris Bay,
Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
and to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother T. Dozier Bay.
Brother T. Dozier Bay.
Give honor to all divine ministers,
And give honor to all divine ministers,
sheiks and sheikas,
chiefs and sheikhs,
all members,
all members,
auxiliary,
auxiliaries,
the Morris Media Team,
and the Moorish media
and
team,
everything Prophet brought and taught
and everything the prophet brought and taught
for the uplifting of fallen man.
for the uplifting of all
I
humanity.
give honor to all wayfarers,
And give honor to all wayfarers,
well-wishers,
well wishes,
sympathizers,
sympathizers,
and seekers after truth.
and seekers after the truth.
I give honor to all our viewers
I give honor to all our viewers
and those who are listening in.
and those who are listening in.
I give honor to our class.
I give honor to our class.
Peace.
Peace.
I'll now read Salvation, Our God, Unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh, and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being in Moorish America, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali founder. Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Home office, P.O. Box 388, Greenbelt, Maryland, 20768. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I'll now read questionnaire, and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand Sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their ad meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Peace. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts of questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. We'll now have a reading from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his simple and fallen states of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. I'll read from page 36, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 26, Holy Instructions of Unity. The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah, and he appointed to everyone his portion, and what measure seemeth good unto himself. Hath he endowed thee with wisdom? Hath he enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicated to the ignorant for their instruction, communicated to the wise for thine own improvement. Thus we had a reading from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our Sunday school is officially open, and I'd like to welcome you all out to Sunday school, and it's my sincere hope that you hear something that can help to make your way that much fair upon the earth. At this time, we call for our Grand Sheik and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, to continue on for our Sunday school instructing lessons for the R. Jones Day.
Islam,
All right. Allah,
God
Father,
of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.
praise the Lord. Beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Allah allows us to see. Yeah. Let me see. Man, you got a pair of wood. Yeah, well, I'll give it to you. Right here. Oh. Well, I got something. Sorry, I got something. Yeah. Give me a question. Yeah, give me a question. I'll give you right back. No. Okay. Praise the Lord. Let's go on to the question. See if we can develop our rhythm. What's the purpose of developing a rhythm?
Get in harmony.
To get in harmony. So what is a rhythm?
A
vibration.
Say it.
A pace.
A pace. That's a good word. What else is rhythm? A tempo. A tempo. That's good. That's right. Come on, Brother Dozy, man.
It's a vibration.
It is a vibration. It's a vibration that comes from a tempo. Okay, or a pace. Okay, all right. So we're trying to get in a rhythm. We're trying to get in a rhythm for the purpose of what?
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency. Well, what kind of consistency? Focus consistency. Focus on what?
Raising your thoughts.
Raising your thoughts. What are we trying to raise our thoughts to?
Infinite.
Infinite wisdom. We're trying to leave the finite and trying to venture into the infinite. Why? Why? Yeah, but because no finite mind can comprehend things infinite. So what we're talking about are finite things. So if you're thinking finitely, that means you are what? Limited. Thank you. You're limited. And once you limit yourself, that prevents you from what?
Ascending.
From growing. What else does it prevent you from doing? Say it. Climbing. That's right. What else does it prevent you from doing? What else does it prevent you from doing? Ascending. Okay. It prevents you also from seeing. Because you lock down on seeing with what eye?
Physical.
The physical. What we're trying to do is use our what eye? Mind's eye. So that helps us to see where? Spirituality or from within. We're trying to see from within. Because from within is where what exists? Okay. Okay. Or where the richest gems are found. So that means if we're looking for the richest gems, we must be able to see from what? Within. And when we see from within, what do we examine? Our heart. We examine our heart. Why? Why do we examine our heart? Yeah, that's the nearest way to me, but why do we examine our heart?
Because that's what your thoughts
That's why our thoughts are. You must examine your heart so that you can look at your what? Your thoughts, and you won't see it physically. You have to note it spiritually. You have to note it with the third eye. Not with the two physical, but with the third eye. And that helps you to see infinite things. Because remember, what we're searching for is not outside. We're searching for what's inside so that we can learn to govern the what? Outside. Okay, who made you?
God.
Who is Allah?
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Can we see it?
No.
Where is the nearest place we can read it?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Juab?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
The
Prophet is told about manifested in flesh.
Now you know you must see, we see a picture of Prophet Noble Juab. But you know when we look at that physical manifestation, that's not the prophet. You do know that, right? You know that that's a physical manifestation. Because man is not the Bible. So we're saying a physical manifestation. The prophet Noble Juali is what?
Spirit.
He is a thought. He's also what?
Spirit.
And what are you?
Spirit.
What am I?
Spirit.
And what else am I? A thought. We're thoughts. Always remember, we are thoughts that think. And when we think, we create. Because we're given the power to create. So what do you think, whatever you think about, and whatever you can hold, and whatever you are energized, is what you make what? Manifest. Even though you may not pay attention to the thoughts that you hold, you know they still create. You know, sometimes we have experiences that we don't quite understand. You know, and we have a tendency sometimes to think someone is doing something to us. But you know, that's hidden thoughts that we are not addressing that still create. And based on your vibration determines as to whether or not that thought manifests. Because your vibration comes from the energy that you feed it. Meaning I might not have a specific thought about a specific thing, but I have like thoughts. Like that thing. And with those like thoughts, I feed that thing, whether I know I'm feeding it or not. And then, when you least expect it, what does it do? It manifests. Because a condition comes about from the thoughts that you hold. And when you enter that condition, that's where that thought exists. Because that's where that particular condition came from. So now you're confronted with a thought that you did not even know you were holding.
You know, you didn't know where it came from.
You're saying, where did it come from? It came from you.
Why me?
Why me? Yeah, that's what you say. That's what I say. Why me? But of course, the response has always been, why not? You. So for real, if that thought didn't manifest, and you know, when it does manifest, it's because we need to give some attention to it. It's a blessing that it does manifest. Because if it did not manifest, it could remain hidden and gaining more strength. Getting stronger and stronger and stronger to the manifestation. Once it manifests, it can become destructive. And it can bring about our destruction. He says to us, examine thy what? Heart. Examine it. Look into it. Look at those thoughts that's held in there. Now, some thoughts will be readily apparent. But remember, where there's the least appearance of evil, suspect the greatest danger. Not just a little danger, but the greatest danger. Come on.
I was thinking sometimes you can hold that thought, you know it, but you don't really take care of it right there.
Yeah,
While the other mom.
yeah,
You know, light thoughts,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That continually grow.
yeah.
And by the time it manifests, you know, it might can hurt you.
Look what you're saying. I will attend to it tomorrow. That's neglecting your what? To evolve how you will what? Behave when greater. You're taking for granted that you have tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, examine thy heart and fix not what? Why? That's right. So that lets you know the condition that comes from that. Your future happiness is solely dependent upon it. So whatever I do, whatever decision that I make at this moment, there is a consequence in my future encounter. Whatever I decide right now is going to affect me in my future. Not in the present moment that you're thinking about it, but in the future. So that lets one know that he really does have control of his future. What future you want to experience, you create it in your present moment. Now you got all that power. What you gonna do with it?
Let's make you think about good is not power. It's within our reach.
Come on.
So do it while it's in your reach.
That's right.
So that you can create future happiness.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So you get a glimpse into the future. You don't live in the future until the future becomes the present moment. Then you live in that which was at first, or in that which was the future. But once you live in that future, it ceases to be the future, it becomes the present moment. So let's not get caught up and get caught up in the future. Because the future has not arrived. We are preparing ourselves to have a, what kind of future? Huh? A balanced future. We're trying to balance in the present moment. The future. That's why we don't concern ourselves with the future. We just pay attention to the present moment because why?
It depends on the future happiness.
Yeah, but why?
Create your future by your present moment.
Yeah, but why?
I said it depends.
Say it again.
It depends on it.
It does depend on it. But why?
We created some create our own.
Yeah. But because that's all you have. All you have is the moment that you're presently in. That's your life. At this moment, this is your life. The only life you have is at this particular moment. Something to think about, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's all we got. It's the present moment. You can do all you want to do for the future. But who's to say you got one? The choice is now. That's right. The choice is now. Now what Islam does, and Islam is a what? It's a way of life. Islam helps you to do what?
God.
Peace.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Balance yourself.
Yeah, balance yourself. What else?
Choose a way of life.
Yes.
Control yourself.
Yes. What you gonna say, babe?
Prepare.
What it does. It prepares you. See, John told you what to prepare yourself for.
That's what he said.
John said, prepare to meet what?
Yeah.
Who is the king? Yeah, but king is also what?
True.
Yes, no question. But king is what? Yeah, it is. Yes, right? But it is also a major attribute. What is the king? Love.
King on the throne.
Okay. Love. Because by way of loving, you can do what? Or you will do what? Or you will be what? Love will what?
Pure.
Yes, yes, yes.
Save
It will save. Love will save you. Save you from what? Yourself. Yeah. So we need to learn to what?
Love.
We need to learn to love. What year was the Morris Science Temple of America founded?
1913.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Drew Ali born?
State of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish Americans?
Because our descendants of Americans born in America.
For what purpose was the Morris Science Temple of America founded?
We uplift the fallen humanity.
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of flag is the Moorish?
It is a red flag with a 5-pointed ring star in the center.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and was on Friday when he departed out of flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was the prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem was Judah, the house of David.
Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give in brief the line of genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers to which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz, Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph and Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, who were governed the portion of Palestine at that time,
How long has that been?
about 2,000 years ago.
What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was Moabitess.
What is the modern name for Moabite?
Moroccan.
Where is the Moroccan Empire?
Northwestern Mexico.
What is the modern name for Mexican?
Africa.
What is a Mexican? Yes. Let's go a little more extensive. What is a Mexican? All right, so when we speak about a Mexican, we're speaking about the first true and divine name of Africa. Not just the name of Africa. It's much more extensive than that. Has much more meaning than that. It's true and divine. And when we answer that, we want to make sure that we pay particular attention to what it is. Why do you think it's necessary to know that?
It comes from Allah.
Yeah, well,
Know where we come from.
that's right. That's right. That's right. It tells you about the people from which came from that region or that particular place. If we came from Africa, and Africa's true and divine name is a Mexican, that means we must have some divinity attached to us. Especially if we live there. Where did he teach? How long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make you free?
Truth.
What is truth?
Truth is all.
What is all?
All is all.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
What other name do we give the truth?
Holy breath.
What have you to say about holy breath?
All we can say is great, it is good, it was, it is, and ever will to be. Amen.
Okay. At what place on earth was the physical part of man formed?
In the garden.
Where is the Garden of Eden?
In the land of Canaan, the city of Bethlehem.
What is the modern name for the Garden of Eden? Excuse me. What is the name of the first physical man?
His name cannot be used only by executive rule of the ACA, MSC, and Medicaid.
Let's hold up there for a minute. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna go to the Morris literature for a minute. Normally, what I would be going to, what is also entitled "The Cares of the World." I just want to read a portion to get us to think about something. Let me start in the Morris literature. It's called "Editorial: A Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nation." I'm going to go to, let me go here. And this is the prophet speaking. I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there. And it is the works of my people, continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. What do you think he's saying? He said he's traveled in the South and he has examined conditions. He's looked at the conditions, and the conditions that he has examined comes by way of who? Us. And how did we bring about those conditions? By what?
The way we were thinking.
The way we were thinking. And what did that way of thinking produce?
Negro.
Yes, it did. That is the Negro thought, no question. But what did it produce?
Hatred, slander, lewdness.
No question. But what is it saying that it produced? A condition of what? No question. But what in particular? Look, dishonor,
Yeah.
disgrace, and disrespect. That is a result of that condition, that way of thinking. So when one dishonors himself, let's not think about just people. Let's think about when we dishonor ourselves. What is dishonor? I must be able to relate to dishonor so that I can know what dishonor is. If I can know what dishonor is, I can be able to recognize it in the event that I find myself drifting into that area. Shame. Okay. We know it comes from the Lord self. That is nothing but a byproduct of the Lord self. But what is it? Shame. Sister McGee said it's shame. Dishonor. But what else is dishonor?
Not living a person.
Well, disrespect is the next one. But tell me something about dishonor.
You're violating what you know is right.
Say,
Not-
okay, that's not honoring our mother and father. In what way? In what way?
Not by using certain names.
Okay, and by what way? What way? How else are we dishonoring them?
By not living a principled life.
By not living a principled way. By disregarding principles. When you don't use your principles, you are what? Dishonoring. When you escape from yourself because of your lack of self-control, and you get so far out there that your principles are being totally violated, what are you doing to yourself? You're dishonoring yourself. And this dishonor is a result that comes from one's lack of what? No.
Practice.
It comes from a lack of application. You're not applying. And of course, when one disrespects himself and he becomes then shameful. If he's what? If he's conscious. See, you're going to escape from ourselves from time to time, but that has nothing to do with your consciousness. Because if you're conscious, what can you do?
Speedy reparation.
You make a speedy reparation. That means you reach out and grab yourself and pull yourself back into some stability. You don't continue to proceed forward. You catch yourself. Because you know if you continue to march forward in that way of thinking, what is a possibility that may occur? What comes from it? If you can't check yourself. Yes, destruction. But before total destruction, something else takes place. What do? You're going to breathe what? What are you breathing?
The Lord.
You are breathing the Lord's self, but in particular, what are you breathing? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. Dishonor, disgrace. What's disgrace? What is disgrace? That's something. What is disgrace? Come on.
Not honor your principle.
Okay. What else is disgrace? Something you've been disgraced. You're a disgrace to the human race.
Loss of reputation.
I think it could be shameful.
It is shameful.
It can be,
Wait a minute. Let me say this before we go any further. Let's not look at it as from coming from somebody else. Because you know we all have played that role at some point. So what is disgrace to us? Because you've got to be able to peep it. Because it can always just comes, it starts out being very subtle. And then it magnifies. What is disgrace?
And outlandish behavior.
That's a good response. It's an outlandish behavior. Absence of what?
Grace.
Yeah, but absence of what else?
Principles.
Thank you. Absence of what?
Principle.
Principles. An absence of principles. Meaning, when you're out there and you have no principles, you have no what? Rule. And if you have no rule, what then?
Your actions can't be right.
They can't be. They can't be. And without rule, that means you can't pull yourself in. You just continue to go further and further and further and become even more disgraceful. So dishonor. We're talking about those who have practiced dishonor, disgrace, and what else? Disrespect. Now, what is disrespect? Rudeness. Yeah. What else is disrespect? What is it when we have been disrespectful?
Without regard.
Without regard to what?
Other people.
That's right. Without regard for others. That's right. That is so right.
And yourself.
Especially yourself. See, really, you are not respecting yourself. That's why it's easy to be disrespectful to others. But you know, there are times when we have a tendency, when we be disrespectful, we blame others. We say sometimes. they hadn't, I wouldn't. Yeah, for real.
Disrespecting me, I'm gonna disrespect you.
Right. I'm gonna treat you like you treat me. And see that the devil in his manipulations can make you think that's fair,
Or you're justified.
and you justify it.
That's not, I don't know all the chapters and stuff in the Bible, but it's a saying in the Bible, they got an eye for an eye,
Two for two.
two for two. They take that to
Oh yeah.
the far left.
Extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go extreme. Remember, the Lord self looks for justification, or for you to accept a justification for performing a wrongful act to your brother or sister. Come on.
That makes me think of how we say truth in reverse, but then that's justice in reverse.
Yes. Remember, everything has a reflection. And in the world of reflection, right is wrong, and wrong is right. That's why you must know when you transcend from the world of reality into the world of illusion. You must be able to make note. You've made a transition. Because in the world of illusion, there are no principles. The principles don't have a rule. In the world of illusion, we say, well, this is what takes place. The stronger consume the bodies of the weaker. The karma of evolution has its rise. So the things or the choices or the decisions that we start to make now is based on the karma law, survival of the fittest. Without the principles, without the rule of conduct, you become like the beast. And the beast is one of the descendants of Adam and Eve. That's in you and in me, along with Lucifer, Satan, the devil, and the dragon. Because these are characteristics of those who are lawless. No rule of conduct, only manifestations of emotions, feelings, tinged with misguided desire that breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. That comes from us. So one must keep in mind dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect. And when we enter into those corridors where those manifestations or where those misguided promptings exist, we must be able to bear witness when we escape from ourselves. And there are times when we escape from ourselves. You can think you're on guard against her, but what happens is that you can mislead yourself into believing something that's not there. That's why he lets us know where there is the least appearance. That means if there's the least appearance, you don't see it. If you don't see it, there is a possibility you may enter into it. Because why? You didn't see the trap that was laid before See, we take for granted that we come in contact with beings. We never stop to think that some of those beings that we come in contact with are manifestations of our lower self. And the object is to get us in what? Our lower self. Because the lower self strives for recognition. What's to be recognized? And if you don't recognize him in you, he'll put you in a manifested state, whereas you won't think it's you, you will think it's them. But it's not really them, it's really you. Manifesting to who? Why would it manifest to you? Because it wants to bring you out of yourself. You think the conflict that can't be told in words are just going on, just you inside yourself in your mind thinking about the things and no, it's not only that. The conflict comes outside. When that conflict manifests, then we have a tendency sometimes to chase it. Who you think you're talking to? Ain't talking to yourself. Who you think you're talking to? I'm talking to you. Why would you talk to you? Because who I'm talking to is me. That's who I'm talking to. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. I guess you are talking to me. Why? Because that's me I'm talking to. That's the game. The game is to make you think it's somebody else, not you. See, the game that the lower self plays is to keep you away from you. Because you can control it. You can say, thus far and no further. I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. No, you in check. And the Lord, once the Lord self notes in you that you are putting up some type of resistance, what happens?
Fight.
Stronger.
That's right, he gets stronger. He gets stronger. Why do you think he put so much effort, or the Lord self put so much effort in challenging you?
Trying to devour you.
Yes, he's trying to devour you, but why else? Why else do you think the Lord self is doing with the challenges that he presents to us?
Trying to keep us earthbound.
No question.
He wants,
That's right.
he wants to control your soul.
He
It's
does.
satisfying.
Yes.
That's just the word.
Yeah. That's a good one. He is. He is.
Sit on the throne.
He does.
Stop us from ascending.
Oh, no question, man. No question. There's no question. He does. Come on, Mom.
You know, also to establish from being the strength of Allah made manifest.
No question. And also because he sometimes calls himself God.
He's king.
That's right. Well, it's already shown that he can become king because he puts Goliath there.
Yeah.
Even though Goliath is who he is, which is a illusion, he still has power when we give it to him. Once the lower self notes that we are willing to surrender power, then he focuses attention on making sure that that power is surrendered. And look what he has to work with, the world of illusion. So when you fight, believe me, sometimes the fight comes outside, but you can't come outside and meet it. Because once you come outside, you enter into what?
Illusion.
Yeah, but enter into what else? Yes, you enter into what else?
Condition.
Yeah, the condition. And also the arena of the dead. You enter enter into the arena of the dead. The dead meaning who? The unconscious. You enter into the world of the unconscious. And in the world of the unconscious, there are no principles used as rules of conduct. And if you're not willing to go the whole way, you are apt to lose your life. That's why. Don't get caught up in the illusion, because you may die. Yeah, that's right. You know, that's right. Yeah.
I guess maybe to allow out the property of the I was thinking, as you were speaking, that's why we established principles
Yeah.
of action
Yes.
for our safety,
Yes.
you know, because,
Yes.
like you say, that lower self is trying to pull us outside of ourselves
Yes.
into the arena of the dead.
Yeah.
And I was thinking in the questionnaire where it speaks about what people represent the lower self,
Yes.
those that was cast out of the holy
Yes.
city, and those who accept their teaching.
Yes.
You know, we can see today those who accept the teaching,
Yes.
and we see it manifest.
Yes. Yes.
And one of the things I try to use for myself
Yeah.
is I don't want to make the news.
Right.
You know, we see the news,
Right.
and I don't want to be one of those in the news.
Right.
You see Bro Ching Leo? No,
Right.
I don't want to be in the news.
Right. Right. Sometimes you may have to carry the news.
That's right.
You know, when the time is appointed. We don't want to be in the news for the wrong thing. Come on.
It's a thing, Brother Shane Mills said about principles and what you said. The laws too.
Yeah.
Along with the principles.
Yeah, well, laws are principles. Come on.
You know, I'm just thinking also, you say the arena of the dead.
Yeah.
When you go outside, the arena of the dead, unconscious.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of my brothers just saying that I'm just trying to stay out the way.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way of what?
Yeah.
Yourself.
Unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or are you conscious?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think people saying things, but do they actually know what they're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, think about it like this too, babe. At one time, we accepted those things. But because we are unfolding, we now begin to question certain things. What does that really mean? You know? Because if you haven't been inspired to question, you have learned to accept their teachings.
You don't think the conditions can be better?
Say something.
I said, and you don't think your conditions can be better if you accepted them?
Not from that point of view. Yes, my brother.
You know, I was thinking about trying to fight the illusion.
Yeah.
And kind of get away from it.
Yeah.
But when you fight it, you in it.
Yeah.
Because you still trying to go after something that's not real.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, the resistance is what is the necessary element to fight the illusion. You resist even entering into it. But you don't even acknowledge it.
Right. One of the things you said about aspire.
Yeah.
Where you use the word aspire.
Yeah.
So when I'm inspired over, this is what happens. I'm not even trying to fight it.
Yeah.
I just know that it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Try to stay out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's not a fight with it when I say trying to stay out of it. But that's not, you know, so it's not a thought. It's not something I'm trying to practice on. I'm not doing.
But you know, the fight is with you,
Sure.
not deciding not to go into it. That's the fight.
And I'm talking about the illusion within. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Well, remember, the illusion is the appearance of being within. But the illusion is always without. Because the illusion is a reflection. It's only what seems to be. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's always good, it's good to start to come into the realization or the understanding of what we're fighting. Because when you know what you're fighting, that gives you a what? An edge. An advantage. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's go to chapter 11. Now we are dealing with, now remember, we're dealing with two perceptions here. One perception being who? That's right. The other perception being who? That's right. One perception shines light on the other perception. Meaning, it opens up one's ability to think. Look what he did. He shined light in the dark. And he allowed the one who thought they knew to be exposed to something far greater than what they thought they knew. But look how he did it. He did it by showing what? What did he show? I'm helping you to see. What did he show?
Another perspective.
Enlightenment. Another way, enlightenment, another way of looking at it. And he used a very important technique when you're discussing with people issues. What was that?
Question.
Yes, kindness. Yes.
Empathy,
Empathy, okay. Yes.
humility,
Yes.
humble,
Yes. The key. Respect. I respect you for what you know. But may I be allowed an opportunity to share this with you? Not trying to demean you, but just trying to share with you some things that have been made known to me. That automatically gives a person a sense of what?
Safe.
Comfort. That's right. Okay, I'm willing to listen to you. Because I don't feel like we're being adversarial.
Abrasive.
You see? Because after all, you have to keep in mind, Barack Obama had been taught. He had been taught and accepted the teachings that he had been taught. Come on.
you know, but now he has a chance to see it from a different point of
Of
view.
course he does. Of course he does.
Mhm.
But if I go to you in a aggressive way, trying to prove my point and disprove your point, it doesn't matter because I ain't trying to hear you.
Gonna block it out.
Because of your presentation.
And it reminds me of the receipt, we said, in order to in order to receive it, like you must have. it.
Yeah.
So he had a certain type of foundation himself to be able to receive.
Yeah,
what was given. He wasn't he wasn't posing an opposition to what
Yeah.
he was saying because of what he accepted.
right.
So that's another aspect
That's
too.
right. That's a good observation. Because you want to look at the man that you're talking to. Come on.
And hearing Brother McGee say that, it starts you off as they read the sacred books,
That's right.
which opened up some things for him to accept
That's right.
after reading some of that stuff.
That's right. That's right. That's right. My brother, and then Brother Alexander Bay.
It also speaks about how Jesus opened up the conversation once Ronald had finished, and he called him enlightened.
That's right. That's right.
It shows a form of respect.
That's right. That's right. That's a good piece. Come on, Brother Alexander Bay.
Oh, praise the Lord. In this chapter, this is a strong chapter because it is here. One has to be able to sit still and listen. And Robert, Jesus had to let Brother Rabel speak his mind.
Yes.
Then he let Brother Rabel, he asked him who told you so. So
Yeah.
then he then began to, like the sister said, they had to show each other some kind of humble respect.
Yeah.
That one revealed what he knew.
Yes.
Peace.
Yes. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because he did. He let Gerardo Arrego express himself.
That's right.
Based on the position that he was most familiar with and had accepted.
That's right.
And he did not, like I said earlier, he did not demean him.
That's right.
He did not make him feel inferior. He let him go ahead and say what he had to say.
That's right. Praise God.
And that lets us know about our conversations with each other.
That's right.
Come on here.
It's more.
One of the things too that brings to mind when we in here, one of the instructions in our additional laws is that we should come to Sunday school and let everyone exercise their 5 senses who is able to do so.
That's
When
right.
people exercise their 5 senses, it's a similar conversation as what we're studying now.
That's right.
You get to see how people are thinking.
That's right.
You get to see what their perception is, and then we get to know how to use the other lesson where he says, communicate to the ignorant.
That's right.
That's right. And to the wise without improvement.
That's right.
He acknowledged Gerardo Rabo's degree of wisdom.
That's right.
By referring to what Brother Morris Bay just said,
That's
calling him enlightened.
That's right.
So he knew certain things were already there.
That's right.
He just needed to share other things that he may not have been privy to.
Right.
And the key to part of this, as it is for all of us as we come in here, is to be open.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
You gotta be open to receive.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that's, all that is significant in terms of their conversation, and of course these messages are for us.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We must be open.
That's right.
We must learn to hear with what? Patience. That's right. That's right. That's good. Among the Buddhist priests was one who saw lofty wisdom in the words that Jesus spoke. It was Morocco Ray. Together, Jesus and Morocco read the Jewish Psalms and prophets, read the Vedas, the Avesta, and the wisdom of Guadalupe. And as they read and talked about the possibilities of man, Barada said, man is the marvel of the universe. He is part of everything, for he has been a living thing on every plane of life. Time was when man was not. And then he was a bit of formless substance in the molds of time. And then a protoplasm. By universal law, all things tend upward to a state of perfectness. The protoplasm evolved, becoming worm, then reptile, bird, and beast, And then at last it reached the form of man. Now if you notice something, he didn't say it reached man. He said it reached the form. Never said it reached man, he said it reached the form. That's something to think about, not to just go over, you know. See, because Jesus could have stopped him when he said, when he made the statement about man being not. But he let him finish the statement. He heard him out. Because he definitely said, time was when man was not. But he heard him out. And then he went on to talk about the form of man, not man. The reason that I'm bringing these things to your attention is because this was a very in-depth conversation.
That's right.
And sometimes we read it so often, sometimes there are things that we miss. That's why we go back and read it again. And again. And again, because the truth continues to do what? Unfold, enlighten, reveal itself. Okay. It says that by universal law, all things tend upward to a state of perfectness. The protoplasm evolved. What's protoplasm? What is this substance, or what is this protoplasm? Because that's the one it starts with.
It's like a plant.
Some microscopic, from the, it's not easy to see with the eyes.
That's right. Well, yeah, I think you need to look up the protoplasm because protoplasm is very important. You need to really look and see what it entails. What is protoplasm?
It's
Come on, brother.
It's with the cells that's in your flesh. You know, that's protoplasm, like the shell, like your skin and cells, stuff like that.
Well, protoplasm is the essential substance. That's right. Makeup. That's what makes up your cells. Makeup. It's a very important element. Why he spoke about it. Protoplasm. Think about that. Protoplasm. Now they said this basic substance evolved. But the basic substance did evolve. But it don't become man. Because everything has a state of perfection of its what? Own kind. Everything has its own perfected state. The protoplasm, it says, and then it said it became a worm. And then it said a reptile, a bird, a beast. And then at last it reached the form of man. But the protoplasm isn't everything. It's just not that thing. It's a separate entity. But it comprises, it's in everything. So I'm saying, each thing has its thing. It does. Each thing has its thing, but it's all a part of the one thing. That's why every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. The relationship. Because that's what we're talking about in this discussion. And Jesus breaks it down to a point where he makes it more simple. Because he keeps everything in its own particular place. It says, yes. Now man himself, now here's his continued perception. Now man himself is mind. Listen to the statement he's making. Man is mind. That's a statement that's being made as a definite. This is what man is. But then again, during those early days like that, that was as far as they could have developed themselves to. But look where we are now. Man is a spirit and a part of a life. Look how we've grown. Look what we're able to comprehend now, as opposed to what they could comprehend then before the coming of he who brought to them the light. The light has been continued to us, and now we're able to discuss these things from a better understanding, a more sure foundation. Because now we know that man is what? Spirit.
All about
That's what man is. And we know what man is not. He is not the body nor the soul. Look at where we are now as opposed to 2,000 years. Come on here.
And this is the other emphasis that we have to put on openness.
Yes, yes.
Because on this plane of things made manifest, the carnal mind
Yes,
won't necessarily gravitate to that.
that's right.
They won't accept
That's right.
the spiritual
That's right, Mom.
aspect of it.
That's right, Mom.
Many of carnal men, if we look at the history, especially the so-called archaeologists and scientists,
Yeah,
they think man emerged from ape.
yeah,
And they hold on to some of those theories.
yeah,
That's what they call them, theories.
yeah. Yeah,
And they call them theories because they know that they can't proven fact to it.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
And oftentimes those theories are accepted, not oftentimes, majority of the time,
Right.
they're accepted by the so-called experts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But we're learning from a spiritual point of view
yes.
that the clearest human knowledge
That's right.
is but blindness and
That's
folly.
true.
Because truth don't change.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And then look how we're able to view this thing. We're able to view it from earthly and divine.
Yes, and that's what he gave us. Yes.
We're able to take this thing from the finite point of view to the infinite point of view. That means man is what? Evolving, and he's also unfolding.
Yes.
He's unfolding. And remember, we are talking about things that's not seen with the physical eye.
Come on.
So it says, now man himself is mind, and mind is here to gain perfection by experience. And mind is often manifest in fleshy form, and in the form best suited to its growth. So mind may manifest as worm, or bird, or beast, or man. Because he's saying that it is done this way because he manifests in the form that's best suited for what? His growth. Meaning I got to manifest in all these things to reach the perfection which is finally man. I got to be a worm. It's amusing to us now, but in those days before we came into enlightenment, hey, that's an accepted, that was accepted.
Yeah.
It's only because now we can see, no, it ain't like that, because the thoughts of Allah change not. Man is and always will be man. A bird will always be a bird. The thoughts of Allah change not.
Yes.
Come on, man.
No, yeah, that's just true. It made me think about, well, I lost it.
Oh, you lost him?
No, it did make me think about just some of the things that, you know, we accept, how we accept it, and, you know, just that we have to be on guard to what sounds good.
Yeah.
You know, because you can easily, it can sound real good, and that puts me in the area of the semblance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you can accept something that really sounds good coming from somebody that may have credibility.
Right.
You know, and you can still be wrong.
Right. Right.
And so, you know, that kind of, it puts me in that, it's saying that it's giving us different degrees of how to see what's going on in this conversation and what to pull from out of it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Because some things that he's saying, it bears looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
We just can't discount everything Quran is saying. We gotta listen to what he's saying. Come on, Mo.
To Brother D-Bay, I was thinking about general opinion.
Yes.
No
Yes.
proof of truth.
Yes.
Even though it's pounded in on a daily basis, put in every book all around the world.
Yes.
Yeah. It will force itself upon you.
Yeah.
And you think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But thank God for the Most High to learn.
Yeah.
That the prophet
Yeah.
started us thinking for our own good.
Yes. 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 And have set put in place sanctuaries.
Yeah.
Where we can come and learn these great truths without molestation. See, because the people, those who want us to think a certain way, would love for us to continue to think that way. And if the prophet hadn't set it up the way he did, they'd have come in and shut everything down.
Right.
Come on, my brother.
Barretta said, from time which man remembers not, our priests have told us so.
Yes.
And so we know. And I thought it was interesting that in the entire time he was talking about the development of man, he didn't name the portion of Allah that he saw that had anything to do with any of that.
Right. Remember, we're talking about a period of time when that may not have been discussed in that way. Remember, man was only able to comprehend a certain portion until the light giver came. Once the light giver came, he was able to give the light to extend man's vision so he could see further, go beyond the limit of the pole. But up until that point, there was a pole.
So that was the influence that man had on man.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, like, we still do that today.
Yeah.
You know, we are influenced if we make more money. We got power.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we become rich. You know,
Yeah.
we have influence over others and stuff, right?
Well, look what we did. We dressed up other men and called them priests.
Exactly. And we still allow them to control
To
our
dictate.
mind, I'm thinking.
Right. Because after all, they supposed to know.
That's because other man done told them that.
But the light giver came and said, we are priests amongst ourselves. That we don't need no middleman. So we're going to erase that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Mo.
You know, Brother Jonathan,
Yes, sir.
I got a brother that, he's a Christian brother, and I've been knowing him for 50 years.
Yes, sir.
And he calls me every week,
Yes, sir.
read something
From
from the Bible.
Oh, from the Bible.
And I say, when you call me
Right,
and ask me to read something from the Bible,
right,
you know what I'm saying? I say, I do it.
yeah,
Hold the telephone with you.
yeah,
But when I ask you to read something, one of my books,
right,
he don't want to do that.
right,
He just wants me to do it his way.
right,
So I said, well, have you read from this book? Have you read from the Quran?
right,
You know? Nah.
right,
I said, well, you always want me to read what you want me to read,
right,
but you don't want to read what I ask you to read.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
And I just got to leave it there and say, okay, brother, I'll talk to you next week.
right.
Because I know you're going to call me again.
Well, the question, the blessing is, he's calling you,
Mhm.
and you know what you know.
Mhm.
See, right now, the ground is being prepared. And when the time is right, he may simply request, read from yours.
Mhm.
You know? Because after all, he sees something in you that need to hear you read. You know what I mean? And after all, you know, one, you know, the man of his knowledge transcends our conception. The way that he does things, we could never figure out. But we don't know who he might end up being. So it goes on to say, thank you. The time will come when everything of life will be evolved unto the state of perfect man. All these things together. And after man is man in perfectness, he will evolve to higher forms of life. He's continuing on the conversation and his trend of thought. And Jesus said, now, he's saying, after all that, now he says, and Jesus said, Barato Arabo, who told you this? That mind, which is man, may manifest in flesh or beast or bird or creeping thing. The statement is, in return, Barada said, from time which man remembers not, our priests have told us so. And so we know. So look where they had put their confidence in. Who? In the priests and man. So we can understand why his thinking is like it is. But remember, again, the light giver had not come to give the inspiration, to give the light. So they were left at the mercy of man. Because remember, Jesus had to go to the Greeks. And he had to tell them by mouth of gods and demigods that they had spoke to man. He had to deal with that. So the light giver is giving light. He's showing them, look, you're seekers after truth. So here's a little something else that you give some attention to or think about. Because a true seeker after truth is looking for what? Truth. Well, why wouldn't it? Because a seeker after truth is no more than a soul thirsting after knowledge. That soul is thirsty for truth. Even in Barato Rego. The soul is still the soul. And the end of her search is what? True. In action is her delight. And she will not be withheld from it. So she's always looking for the truth. But when you seek the truth, it says, when the student is ready, teach the truth. Appear to do what? Feed your soul. To feed your soul. To give your soul some what?
Nourishment.
Nourishment and what else?
Direction.
Direction. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you for your attention. Peace.
Peace.
Islam more.
Islam.
I'd like to thank our Grand Speaker Moderator, our brother man of the Grand, for a very thought-provoking class. I'd like to thank you all for your participation. So at this time, I'll call forth the Assistant Grand Governor of Washington, D.C. to read our divine warning, our proclamation for the Chief Dozier Bay. And while it's being read, please give it your undivided attention and please cease all movement.
Islam.
Islam.
Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read proclamation in each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their home, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember your cards for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive a reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state by the prophet founded. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet in the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Islam.
Islam.
That ends our Quran and questionnaire portion of the meeting. We'll now go into our business meeting. If there's anyone who would like to proclaim their nationality, raise your hand, and the mufti will attend to you. If there's anyone who's been away from the temple for 90 days or more, who would Father universe,
Allah, Father universe,
Father love,
truth,
peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen.